to speak in English, but this is coming all by your heart. If you know the vocabulary, just speak in English. Based on my experience in Thailand, they speak is not based on the grammar, but the vocabulary. Okay, before we start, I would like to reading about the biography from native speaker. Name, Bruce Rice.
Your hearing, your taste, and your touch. So these are the things that we have all grown up with. But once we move across into education, we go to visual, so people can see things. Audio, they can hear things, and again, Paxapata will expand on this tomorrow. And what we call audio digital. Now that's I don't know whether it's a new term, but once I show it to you, you will all go, ah. So somebody has just put a tag on what we already do. And finally, kinetic. So these are the senses that we use. So the visual is you. It's the appearance of you, and I see that you have a uniform, so you all look very sharp. The facilities that you provide are quite excellent. So visually, it's a great place. Auditory. Dun, dun, dun. This is where you translate your vision into a story. So you want your students or your participants to absorb something, put what you get out of that into a story that they can take and then use. So it's you putting your life in where they are at the time. And it is my personal belief that the worst type of adult is the person that forgets what it was like to be young. If you cannot remember the problems that you had when you were studying, researching or whatever, then it is very hard for you to empathise with your students. But if you reflect back and you put yourself in their place at your time, you can see how much you can improve on the situation that was inflicted on you. Now, audio digital. This is a relatively new term. Has anyone heard of this before? I'm not surprised. I only found it when I did this. This is where you validate any statistical information that you have. Okay, so it's where you convert statistics, really keep up to speed with how younger people introduce themselves and the informality that people may use in speaking. So there may be ways that young Indonesians introduce themselves which would be a bit foreign to your older lecturers. So when you possibly go to a foreign country, that you do not have a large Bule or expat population here, but practice with each other. So how are you? I am good, thank you. How are you? So you can reciprocate that. So you can turn it back onto the person, but don't expect an answer. It's just like a form of saying, how are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Good, what are we doing now? Then the conversation progresses. Sorry, so introducing ourselves. Informally. As I did before, hello, I'm Bruce. Hello, my name is Bruce. Well, hi, I'm Bruce. Depending on the situation you're in. Now, in Australia we say g'day. I don't know if that is how you spell it. As in each country we have our own slang or dialect or whatever you choose to call it. And unfortunately, Australians have a very, very bad accent, and you may often see that in the movies. In the movies, they tend to put in "G'day, mate." It is not often that you would hear that in Australia nowadays, but it was quite a common